I was trapped in an abandoned warehouse. Cold and damp all around me. Bruises from beatings covered my body, and my face was swollen and burning. I pulled out my spare phone and called my husband. Ezra, I've been kidnapped. Please come save me.
Are you finished, Scarlett? You'd lie about being kidnapped just to get me back?
Rosaline's heart stopped. They're still trying to revive her. Can't you be reasonable?
He hung up. I dropped my phone, my eyes burning. Half a day earlier, Ezra had abandoned me on a foreign street for his first love, Rosaline. After he left, a sack was thrown over my head and I was dragged into a van, where I was beaten and kicked. The kidnappers left for lunch. I seized the chance, climbed onto wooden crates, and squeezed through a narrow vent. Rusted wire cut my arms, but I grit my teeth and ran. In the rainy night, a Rolls-Royce Phantom sped toward me. The kidnappers' shouts grew closer behind me. I braced myself and rushed forward, stopping the car. The window rolled down, and I saw the man in the back seat. His features were sharp, his bearing noble, and he gave off an icy coldness that kept people at a distance. "Sir, I've been kidnapped. Please save me. I'll repay you." He looked at me, a flicker of interest in his deep eyes. The footsteps behind me grew closer.
Get in.
The engine roared, and the kidnappers were left behind. I had survived. He drove me back to my hotel. With trembling hands, I pulled out my phone. No missed calls, no messages, nothing. I blinked hard, forcing back the tears. I added him on WhatsApp and transferred 30,000. This is all I have on me right now. I'll properly thank you when I get back home.
Asher Owen.
Scarlett Reed. I flew 5 hours back home and returned to Sky Estate. Ezra wasn't there, probably still with his first love. I walked into the study, printed 2 copies of the divorce agreement, and signed my name. This ridiculous marriage needed to end. I went to the bedroom to pack. The huge wedding portrait hung above the bed, and I found it utterly ironic. I stepped onto the mattress, yanked the frame down, and smashed it on the floor. Glass shattered everywhere. I dragged out the old suitcase I had brought when I first married into this house. I packed only a few old clothes and a photo album. Every dress and piece of jewelry Ezra had bought me remained untouched. I placed the divorce papers on the coffee table and was about to leave when the front door opened and Ezra walked in.
You came back already?
Did you expect me to stay there and wait to be killed?
What are you fussing about now? Rosalind's heart condition acted up. I had to be with her. You're Mrs. Wilson. Can't you be more understanding?
I want a divorce. He looked at me with contempt, as if I were a woman who couldn't survive without a man.
Where can you go after the divorce? You had lived a life of luxury in the Wilson family. What else do you want?
If anyone wants to be Mrs. Wilson, they can have it. Read the divorce papers and sign. I picked up my suitcase and walked out.
If you step out that door today, don't even think about coming back.
Don't worry, I have no intention of coming back. Just then, my mother-in-law Sylvia came downstairs. Seeing my suitcase, she began sneering. She called me a curse, said I wasn't good enough for Ezra, that only a lady like Rosine deserved him. I looked at this mother and son and felt nothing but absurdity and bitterness. This was the family I had loved and given everything to for 3 years. The biggest regret of my life is being blind enough to marry into your family. From today on, we go our separate ways. I never want to see any of you again. With that, I walked out the door without looking back. The night wind blew cold, but I breathed in the fresh air and felt lighter than I had in years. I walked down the road pulling my suitcase. Then a black Rolls-Royce Phantom pulled up slowly in front of me. The door opened, and a tall, upright man walked quickly towards me.
Scarlett, I've spent the last year searching for you, and I finally found you.
He told me I was the biological daughter of the Gordon family in Maston. Over 20 years ago, a greedy nanny had switched me with her own daughter and abandoned me at an orphanage. 3 hours later, the DNA test results came back, confirming the biological relationship. My eyes immediately filled with tears. I wasn't an orphan. I was the daughter of the Gordon family, one of the most influential families in the country. Grayson took me home. The convoy drove into a hillside estate, and 2 rows of servants bowed in unison. An elegant woman rushed over and held me tightly, tears streaming down her face. She was my mother, Gillian. My father, Walter, stood nearby, his eyes also red.
My Scarlet! We have finally found you! It's all my fault for letting you suffer.
In the living room, my 4 brothers stood in a row, each of them looking at me with reddened eyes. From that day on, I had a family. The next morning, my mother Gillian came into my room with a bowl of soup and carefully fed me. My brothers gathered at the door, all looking at me with concern. The Gordon family assigned a team of nutritionists just for me. Chris checked my condition 3 times a day and prepared all kinds of herbal remedies to restore my health. Just then, the butler reported that Mr. Owen had arrived. He was here to cancel the engagement. It turned out my grandfather had arranged a marriage for me with the Owen family.
Scarlett just came home and he comes to cancel the engagement? Does he think the Gordon family is a pushover?
It's an arranged marriage. I don't know him and he doesn't want to marry me. Canceling it is fine. I walked downstairs and saw Asher sitting on the sofa. The moment I saw his face clearly, I froze. It was the man who had saved me abroad. He recognized me too, a faint amused smile curling at the corner of his lips. He picked up the cancellation agreement and tore it in half.
Since it's you, then the engagement stays.
Asher stood up and extended his hand toward me. His palm was dry and warm, and in his eyes, usually looking down on everything, I saw only my own reflection.
Let's reintroduce ourselves. Asher Owen. Your fiancé.
I took half a step back and looked at him with polite distance. I was grateful he had saved me, but I didn't like arranged marriages.
Don't be nervous. I won't force you. Since you don't like arranged marriages, we'll start by getting to know each other. I'll give you 1 year to let us understand each other. If you still want to cancel the engagement after that, I'll respect your decision.
I looked at him in shock. He glanced at his Patek Philippe watch, said he would return with formal betrothal gifts in a few days, then turned and left. My brothers gathered around, asking when I had met Asher. I told them that a few days ago, Ezra had abandoned me abroad for Rosalind. I was kidnapped, and Asher was the one who saved me. My mother's eyes filled with tears of distress. Looking at my family, a wave of warmth washed over me. I had never felt this kind of unconditional love before. Dad, Mom, brothers, there's something I need to do. I need to regain my dignity. Late at night, Twitter crashed. Using a newly registered account, I posted 9 images exposing Ezra's infidelity and Rosalind's hiring of thugs to kidnap me. The caption was just one line. Ezra, you said Rosalind was suicidal and you had to stay with her. Then why was she liking a luxury brand's fall collection 10 minutes earlier? These 3 years, I was blind enough to treat garbage as gold. We'll divorce? And F you. Public opinion turned instantly. Ezra's phone blew up with calls. Partners canceled contracts. Shareholders demanded answers. He called me. I didn't answer. He sent messages. I blocked him. Ezra had his assistant try to find my location, but they found nothing. He froze the supplementary credit card in my hand, thinking that would force me to give in. He didn't know that if I wanted to, selling just one of my design drafts would be enough to support me for a lifetime. I logged into my designer account, untouched for 3 years, and sent my assistant Emily a message. I'm back. Emily was so excited she could barely type coherently. I told her I was coming back. The first piece would be called Phoenix. Rebirth from the fire? The return of a queen. The next day, an anonymous Twitter post exploded. Ezra and his mother Sylvia were accused of embezzling company funds to the tune of 9 figures. The evidence was solid and undeniable. Ezra was overwhelmed. He sold several properties and some of his shares, but still came up far short. Rosalind offered her father's help, but on the condition that Ezra get engaged to her and transfer half of his shares to her. Ezra agreed. That afternoon, he held a press conference, announcing that he and I had agreed to divorce and that he would be engaged to Rosalind the following week. At the press conference, he threw all the mud at me, calling me a crazy ex-wife who would do anything to stay in a wealthy family, accusing me of faking the kidnapping for sympathy. I sat in the living room of the Gordon estate, watching that well-dressed, respectable-looking man on TV, and almost laughed. I felt ridiculous for being so blind for the past 3 years. My brothers were furious and wanted to go after Ezra. I stopped them. I was the one who pushed this from behind. I want to divorce him quickly and cut all ties completely. Once there's nothing left between us, we'll deal with him properly. I went back to my room, pulled Ezra out of my block list, and sent a message. See you at the courthouse tomorrow at 9. Ezra called immediately, and I hung up. He sent another long message, still with that condescending, charitable tone, saying that if I came back and admitted I was wrong, he might reconsider the divorce. I rolled my eyes and blocked him again. That evening, the butler said Ashel was waiting for me outside. I walked out of the villa, and there he was, leaning against his car, exuding that noble, cool aura. He drove me up a mountain. An hour later, we stopped at a wide open lookout at the summit. The entire city's brilliant lights spread out beneath our feet.
When I was in a bad mood, I used to come here. It's quiet. No one bothers you. When you feel stifled, you can shout into the valley and let it out.
He told me that in the first few years after he took over the group, half the board wanted to sideline him and the other half wanted to kick him out. On the worst night, he stood here all night. As dawn approached, he understood. The mountain wouldn't collapse, and neither would he. I listened to Asher's words, and the lingering gloom in my heart slowly faded. The pain Ezra had caused me didn't seem to hurt as much anymore. I'm not sad. I just think I was a little ridiculous before.
Not ridiculous. Giving your true heart isn't wrong. What's wrong is the person who tramples on it.
His words rippled through my heart. That failed marriage shouldn't become a shackle that denied my entire worth. On the way back, Emily messaged me saying the organizers of a jewelry exhibition were willing to give us the best booth. I replied that I would send the design for Phoenix tonight. Asher took out a retro craft paper bag from the glove compartment and handed it to me, saying it was candy. Have one when I'm feeling down. The paper bag still carried a trace of warmth. Thank you, Asher. Today, I'm really happy. The next day at 9, I arrived at the courthouse on time. After waiting over 2 hours, Ezra's car finally showed up. Rosalind got out of the car too. She looked pale and fragile, all delicate and apologetic, saying it was her heart condition that had delayed them. I couldn't even be bothered to look at her. Ezra, did you come here to file for divorce or to put on a melodrama? If it's the latter, count me out. Ezra immediately went over to support Rosalind, then turned and glared at me with a reproachful tone, saying Rosalind wasn't feeling well and asking what harm it would do for me to wait a little longer. We finally completed all the paperwork just before the office closed. When the signed divorce papers was placed in my hand, I felt a lightness I had never experienced before. Ezra held his copy, but there was none of the satisfaction he had expected. Seeing my relieved smile, he felt inexplicably irritated. Scarlett, now you and Ezra can each go your own way. I'm really happy for you. Finally free. Congratulations, Mr. Wilson. You got what you wanted. I wish you and Miss Lloyd a long and happy life together. With that, I turned and walked away without a trace of regret. Sunlight fell on my straight back, as if I were reborn. After I left, Ezra and Rosalind went to a restaurant. Rosalind scrolled through her phone, seeing that everyone online was cursing me, and her mood couldn't have been better. Suddenly she gasped. Asher had posted on Twitter. That account, which never posted anything, had published its first update, My Girl. The accompanying photo was a back view, on a deep, dark mountaintop. A slender figure in a beige trench coat stood by the railing, looking into the distance. Within minutes, comments and reposts shot past 100,000. 3 hashtags flooded the trending charts. Ezra stared at the screen, feeling that the silhouette looked more and more like me. A surge of betrayed anger rose from deep within him. He thought I had been so eager to divorce him because I had secured someone like Asher. He stood up abruptly, left Rosalind behind, and drove off to find me. At that very moment, I was standing in the Gordon Group's executive office by the floor-to-ceiling windows, a cup of coffee in my hand, and said to my brother Grayson beside me, "It's time to begin." When I returned to the Gordon estate, only the adopted daughter Vivian was in the living room. She was sitting cross-legged on the sofa scrolling through her phone. When she saw me come back, she immediately jumped up. "You're back, Scarlett? How did it go? Everything okay?" "Yes, it's done." She took my arm and pulled me to sit on the sofa, then casually waved her phone and asked if I had seen Twitter. It was very lively today. Vivian pushed her phone screen in front of me, her eyes fixed on my expression. "Asher posted on Twitter. He's never posted anything personal before. This is his first." "Look at that silhouette. Scarlett, doesn't it look a bit like you? Didn't you two go out yesterday?" "It's not me. Lots of people have similar silhouettes." Joy surged through Vivian upon hearing the answer. She pretended to be angry on my behalf, saying Asher shouldn't have shared misleading photos. Then she asked if I knew the woman in the photo. How would I know about Mr. Owen's private matters? "But Vivian, you seem especially interested in him." Vivian's expression stiffened. She quickly laughed and explained, then said that since I had just divorced, I should avoid getting too close to Asher to prevent gossip. Just then, my 5th brother Matthew came downstairs and frowned at her.
I told you to stop looking at that online nonsense. What Scarlett and Asher do is their own business.
Vivian lowered her head, biting her lip in greediness. I couldn't be bothered to say more, so I got up and went upstairs to rest. A few days later, the Wilson Group held its routine board meeting. I knocked on the conference room door and walked in. Seeing me, Ezra's days of frustration were replaced by a sense of triumph. He thought I regretted the divorce and had come to beg him to take me back.
Who let you in? This is a board meeting, not a place for you. Get out.
I walked straight to an empty seat and sat down, lifting my eyes to meet his. What? You don't think I should be here?
Stop making a scene here. If you want to talk about personal matters, wait until after the meeting. Since you came back on your own, I'll give you that chance.
Personal matters? I'm here for business. I lifted my hand in a quiet gesture, and the lawyer dressed in black behind me stepped forward before placing a document in the middle of the conference table.
According to this stock transfer agreement, Ms. Scarlett Reed now owns 36% of Wilson Group's outstanding shares, which makes her the largest shareholder of the company. Based on the company's bylaws, she has every right to attend and preside over this meeting.
An immediate wave of noise broke out across the room.
This is ridiculous. Scarlett, that's enough. If you're trying to win me back, you don't need to put on a show like this.
Scarlett, this is an official board meeting. It isn't a place for this kind of display. Whatever you want to talk about can wait until the meeting ends, all right? Choosing not to argue, I simply tipped my chin toward the file resting on the table. Take a look. The truth is written clearly. Snatching up the document with obvious irritation, Ezra flipped through the pages. As his eyes moved down the text, the color slowly drained from his face. The document showed that I owned 36% of the shares, exactly 1% more than he held.
Scarlett, have you been plotting against me all along? Did you plan everything from the moment we divorced? What exactly are you after?
Unmoved by his anger, I spoke in a steady voice. Business is like a battlefield and only the strong survive. Why call it a plot? As for what I want, as the company's largest shareholder, I officially propose that Ezra be removed from his position as CEO. Over 2/3 of the shareholders raised their hands. The proposal to remove him was officially approved. Ezra felt drained, as though all his strength had been pulled out of him at once.
Scarlett, we were married once. Do you really need to push this so far? I admit I hurt you. Can't we sit down and talk this through?
Mr. Wilson, this is a board meeting. Please keep the discussion professional. As for personal matters, everything ended the moment you signed the divorce papers. Walking up to him, I leaned slightly closer and spoke quietly near his ear. Ezra, this is exactly what you deserve. From this point on, I'll take back everything you owe me, piece by piece. Right then, the door to the conference room opened again. Several Interpol officers entered and walked directly toward Rosalind.
Miss Rosalind Lloyd, you're under suspicion for arranging a kidnapping through overseas contacts. This is your arrest warrant. Please accompany us.
Metal handcuffs clicked shut around Rosalind's wrists. As she passed by me, she fixed me with an expression full of hatred. Asher sent me a message, asking where I was and saying he would come get me. I replied that I was at the studio, just wrapping up and about to go home. I waited almost 40 minutes, but he still hadn't arrived. Given his personality, if something had come up, he would have told me in advance. A sense of unease crept into my heart, and I called him. Where are you? Did traffic hold you up?
There was a small problem on the road. It may take a bit longer.
I caught the faint breathlessness he was trying hard to hide, and my heart tightened. What happened? Send me your location. I'm coming right now. I grabbed my coat and hurried out of the studio, driving to the intersection he told me. From afar, I saw the flashing red and blue lights. A black Maybach was crushed at the front, smashed against a street lamp. Asher sat on a low concrete barrier by the road, blood slowly seeping from a cut at his temple. I rushed straight toward him. How serious is it? Aside from your forehead, are you injured anywhere else?
No, it's only a scratch.
He attempted to stand up to prove he was all right, but the instant he shifted his weight, a strong wave of dizziness made him waver. I caught him immediately. Don't move. Get in the car. I'm taking you to the hospital. I drove straight to my third brother, Chris's private hospital. After a thorough examination, the doctor said he only had a minor cut and a mild concussion, and that he would recover after a few days of rest. The tight knot in my nerves finally loosened. Looking at the bandage on his forehead, I still felt a lingering fear. It was already late when we left the hospital. Asher looked at me and suddenly spoke.
I'm sorry. I was meant to pick you up.
It was an accident. No one could have seen it coming. What matters is that you're fine. The doctor said you need rest. Go home and take care of yourself. I turned to walk toward my car, but he called out to me.
Scarlett, there's a charity auction gala coming up in a few days. I heard several museum-level pieces will be showcased, including Tina's masterpiece, Heart of Eternity. Would you like to go see it together?
I genuinely wanted to attend. With Phoenix already submitted, this kind of high-end gala was the perfect chance to expand my network. If it isn't inconvenient for you, I'd like to go with you.
It would be my honor.
The day before the gala, my mother Gillian pulled me to try on gowns. My brothers gathered around, each offering their own opinions. Being surrounded by my family like this was something I had never experienced in all my 20-plus years. While the conversation continued without reaching a conclusion, the butler Benjamin entered, carrying a velvet jewelry box.
Miss Gordon, this was delivered by Mr. Owen.
The lid opened to reveal a complete set of blue diamond jewelry, elegant and not overly flashy.
Scarlett, it's clear that Asher truly cares about you.
Memories of my time with Asher surfaced in my thoughts. He treated me with a kindness I had never experienced from Ezra. I know. The next evening, I changed into my gown and was about to leave. Vivian walked in wearing a pink evening dress, saying she was also attending the auction and wanted to ride with me. I didn't want to argue with her in front of my mother, so I asked Grayson to arrange a separate car for her. At 7 in the evening, Asher arrived to pick me up. I wore the misty blue velvet gown, and the blue diamond at my neck shimmered under the light. He looked at me, and for a moment I saw admiration in his eyes.
Are you ready?
I nodded and rested my hand on his arm. Vivian came over in her elaborate outfit. I'll be relying on you tonight, Ashel. Asher didn't acknowledge her. He only said to me, "Get in." Then he opened the door for me. Vivian was about to get in, but the door shut abruptly. She stood there watching the taillights fade, her smile frozen. The auction was held in the grand banquet hall of Maston's finest hotel. When Asher walked in with me on his arm, countless eyes turned toward us. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Mandy Scott, watching the scene, was nearly consumed by jealousy. In a corner, Ezra also saw the scene. He refused to believe Asha was genuinely interested in me, convinced I was only doing it to get back at him. He stepped in front of us.
Scarlett, what are you doing here? You're going to great lengths to win me back? Even sneaking into an event like this?
I looked at him for a few quiet seconds, then spoke. Who are you? Ezra froze. Then his face flushed bright red.
Scarlett, cut the act. It's only been a few days since our divorce, and suddenly you don't know me?
Ah, Mr. Wilson. Whoever I'm standing beside has nothing to do with you. Instead of fixating on me, you might want to sort out your own mess. Asher moved me half a step behind him and gave Ezen a cold warning.
Ezra, say one more bad thing about her, and I won't let it go. If I have to, I'll wipe Wilson Group out of Maston.
Ezra went rigid and could only watch as Asher guided me past him. The auction began. I had little interest in the earlier pieces, and Asher occasionally leaned over to ask my opinion. Then the auctioneer's voice rose with excitement.
And now, the highlight of tonight. The final masterpiece from the legendary designer Tina.
Presenting Heart of Eternity.
Under the spotlight, a necklace made of diamonds appeared on the platform. I stared at that familiar necklace, and for a moment, my thoughts drifted. This was my final piece, carrying my longing for love and my hopes for marriage back then.
Do you want it?
I quickly steadied myself and shook my head. I just think it's incredible. Tina has always known how to reach people. Bidding began and the price quickly climbed. Asher raised his paddle calmly.
100 million!
Asher raised the bid to 100 million, and the entire room erupted. Ezra deliberately raised the price, calling out 101 million. Asher glanced at him with disdain.
At this amount, you need to show proof of funds.
Two staff members approached Ezra and asked to verify his eligibility. He couldn't produce that kind of money, and his face went pale. The gavel fell. Asher won Heart of Eternity for 100 million. A staff member brought the necklace to Asher. He picked it up and stood under everyone's gaze.
Turn around.
It's too expensive, Asher. I can't.
It belongs somewhere worthy, and that place is with you.
After the auction ended, a cocktail reception followed. Asher was stopped by two business partners and apologized, saying he would be back soon.
Will you stay here and wait for me?
Sure. Go handle it. I didn't like crowds, so I found a quiet corner and sipped champagne alone. Then Mandy approached with a glass of red wine. Well, if this isn't Miss Reed, you're pretty ordinary. I honestly can't figure out what Ashen sees in you.